Andy Ross, check out his show, Real Characters.
I miss Lost, you guys.
Why?
Just a little...
Why? Let's not start this. Lost was a good show, despite the fact that the finale wasn't very good.
But don't you remember how fun it was that first season or two? We were like,
It was awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. Like, it tapered off, but there was some joy there for a while.
Just some.
Just some.
Yeah.
Hey everyone.
Hey guys.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Speaking of things that bring us joy, there's nothing groups of friends like more than inside jokes, right? Everyone has inside jokes with their friends that they like to do a lot, but it might make you feel like you're not at home. And when you're at the Jukebox, we want you to be at
We'll be
home with us.
inclusive here.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
We want to just be really, really all at home with each other. So we thought we would explain to you guys some of our weird terms and jokes. That way, when you hear us say it,
You'll get it.
you'll get it. You'll be part of the
get
inside
it.
of the joke.
Welcome to the family.
And also, you know, use it wisely, soldiers. Take these jokes with you. These are part of.
They're so
They're good.
good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
The inside joke is sort of the wrong term. It's called an ecolect. That's when you have a language that only you and the people right around you use. Smaller than a dialect. Oh, I'm gonna die long.
Speaking of those Star Wars figurines,
Okay, I guess those weren't surprising. We said we were doing surprising things, but I don't think anyone was surprised that I had this. So, one word that we like to use a lot, the origin of this term is that when I lived in Chicago, I took class at Second City, and in a sketch writing class, you had to do cold readings, where you'd just get a copy of someone's sketch, and we'd all read them out loud. And there was this one girl in my class who was terrible at reading out loud. She would just mispronounce things and use the wrong cadences, and it would really throw off your sketch. So we just, like, you wouldn't give her a part if you were like, oh, you know, you read Scott, you read Amanda. You just, like, wouldn't give this girl a part. But there was one week where it was, like, a town hall sketch. Everyone had to be in it. And so my friend gives her, it's like a 2-line character, and this is a character whose face is paralyzed. But she only has 2 lines. And her 2 lines are, that's okay, and we all make mistakes. And this was written out phonetically as one might pronounce them were one's face half paralyzed. And it was written out, that's okay, and we all make mistakes. And then she's like, that's okay. I was like, okay, give it a little more. And she's like, we all make matates. And we all lost it. I've never,
It's a good one.
like I have worked, like I worked through in my life to like try to come up with the funniest thing that could happen. It's like, nope, I'll never top this. But it was also met with like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like she says Tuscan, Arizona. Like, you know, like, this is on you. This is a mistake you knew was a mistake while you were making it. And perfectly it was with the word, right? So, matate means, like, it's like, oh, this skirt's a little tight, but, like, I'm going to lose 5 pounds and wear it to the party. It's like, no, you're not. That's a mistake you know is a mistake while you're making it. Or, like, I'm just going to meet my ex-boyfriend for a drink, just as friends. It's like, don't do that. That's a really bad idea. That's a matate. So if you ever hear us use the term matate, this is the origin of
or
that.
perhaps wearing that wig while driving a U-Haul for 14 hours across the country.
Or being a pipe guy.
Yeah. These are all
Matate.
classic matates.
Matate. You now know. Use it wisely.
Alright, so you guys may remember that a couple years ago, That's What She Said was all the rage.
Yeah, do you?
We invented that. No, that's not what we did.
Don't even.
So we're like, how can we make this better? How can we make this
I
our
don't know if
thing?
we ever had like a focus group about it.
I think we worked it
We
out.
were just like making jokes and like obviously it kept coming up and we were trying to be like super cool
everyone
and
else is
ironic
saying
and like above it. So we were like, let's make it a little bit more literal, and we started saying, "That's what she told me."
Yes, that's what she
So
said.
like, that's what she said. Those are the words.
Yeah.
Like we were.
Yeah, but that's
Those
what
are-
she told me. Like that's what, like legitimately, she whispered it in my ear.
Like, that's what she told me.
That's what she told me.
And then for some reason that I'm not really sure, it evolved into like, "That's what she told me."
Like
And
we held it for longer, and then I guess we just decided it was funnier that way because everything's funnier if you say it like you're falling off a cliff.
Yeah, like it's your last words.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like pushing you off and they make a great "that's what she said" joke, and you're like, I must. That's what she told me. Death on spikes.
Yeah. So that's what she told me. Is something you
It's
can
also
use.
helpful because, like, it's lame to still say that's what she said. But it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is like an
It's
ironic,
edgy.
Yeah.
To say that's-
We are cool people. Come on. And it kind of evolved from there into.
Yeah. Okay. So then we were like, this is over, right? That's what she told me. Everyone's saying that.
So I saw the movie Sleepers with Woody Allen, and I hated that movie. And my impression of that movie was just like, but Mr. Whatever his name is, Mr. Woody
Call him
Allen.
Sheldon. His name's always Sheldon.
Mr. Sheldon, in the future, like, everything vibrates, all the clothing vibrates. And he's like, yeah, you should tell that to my ex-wife. Like, I just felt like every single line of that movie was, like, about his ex-wife. So now, rather than saying that's what she told me, we say, just like my ex-wife.
Yeah.
I've never been married.
None of us
have been married, but we just say, just like my ex-wife. And the more labored it is, the better.
Yeah.
So the more hurdles you can jump through, use it. You guys have it now.
You'll hear us say that. We don't have ex-wives. Especially Margaret.
She doesn't date much.
Now finally, this last one, we have finally come to the time when we can share the secret of the wet basement with everybody.
This is really important.
This is really important.
Here's the deal with the wet basement. I don't remember exactly how it started. I think we were trying to think of the least sexual act that could possibly exist.
There's always those ones,
where, like, everyone's like, oh, like,
have you heard of the, like, squirrely camel? It's like, what is it? Well, it's when you're...
It's like, like slumber party, gross out, made up sex acts.
Totally. So we were trying to, like,
making up our own. Yeah.
Making up our own, and we came up with the wet basement. And
so we didn't really come up with the act so much as we came up with the gesture first.
Yeah.
So it was this.
It was just like this.
And like, you know, like that.
Yeah. So like 3 years go by.
3 years, yeah. We've been doing this wet basement for 3 years. We continue to have
this conversation about the wet basement. And one day, I was having a conversation with Steve Jacobs, and we were talking about the wet basement, and he was like, made some mention of like touching the taint, and I was like, whoa, I never thought of it like that. What did you think the wet basement was? On the count of 3. 1, and then we like said it. My version of the wet basement, what I thought it was like you put a little pool of water in there. Just enough.
Just a misting.
Just enough. And then you sort of like go down in that area, and you just kind of like sprinkle a little, you know? Like the feeling you get when you walk into a wet basement. And it like has a humidifier running.
I always assumed there was no water. I just thought it was called the wet basement because that was less sexual than like butt tickle.
I really wish butt tickle was a thing that people could say.
So,
with no fear of shame.
So it's not a thing you would ever use, but it's a thing you would say.
So now we have decided that the definition is this. So if you could all indulge us, if you have some liquid on you, just put like a light dusting in your hands. Just like,
you're not gonna, no one's going to do
kind of
this.
like, you know.
We'll pretend like you are because we can't see you.
Too much water. But it's okay. The wet basement sometimes gets a little out of control.
I don't even want to do this.
And then you just kind of like, just like a mist, just like a mist.
Oh, that's my laptop. That's cool. It's been wet based.
Although the best part is the misting makes a sound. So it's
right, yeah.
Everyone try to make eye contact with someone near you while you're doing this. Makes it really adds to it.
Yeah.
Like dust, but wet.
Wet basement.
Yep.
Butt reaching. Yeah.
Exactly. And Steve Jacobs now has an exercise tool that you can use to strengthen
Get wet
doing a wet
You want to
basement.
just kind of like a...
And that is the wet basement, and you can all take it with you. Thank you.
Wow.
Speaking of wet basements, though, I'd like to bring up our next performer.